Right lads, so you saw the title of the video. Today I'm going to be showing you the best 5 combos in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, in my educated opinion. But before I do talk about that, there's something that I need to explain myself for in my last video. So in my last video, I said that the Teddy Buggy was by far the best kart in the game. And I got a lot of stick for it because a lot of people came into my comments saying the Cat Cruise is better because it has a better invincibility stat, technically making it the better vehicle. And I'm just going to quickly explain why me and most other top players prefer to use Teddy Buggy over the Cat Cruiser. So the first reason is that the invincibility stat does not matter in the slightest. It is by far the most useless stat in the entire game, and it was only created in Wave 3 as a very, very poor attempt to nerf Waluigi Wiggler. Of course, when it came to Wave 4, Nintendo did figure out that buffing other characters would get the job done, and that's why we all play Yoshi now. So if you take invincibility out of the question, that basically makes Teddy Buggy and the Cat Cruiser the exact same stat-wise. And then that leads to the second reason, which is the Teddy Buggy has a little bit more of a favorable hitbox to the Cat Cruiser. So with the vehicles basically having the exact same stats, you know, if we take out invincibility, which doesn't really matter anyway, that basically leads to most top players picking Teddy Buggy because of its favorable hitbox, and also because over time the community has found quad bikes to just be more comfortable to drive. But I'd imagine that's more of a personal preference thing. So overall, the differences are very, very little, and if you want to rock with the Pussymobile, that's completely fine. It's still a very viable option. Definitely a really good alternative to the Teddy Buggy. But for some spots on this list, I am going to be using the Teddy Buggy instead of the Cat Cruiser, as that's what most top players prefer to use, myself included. So yeah, for every single combo on this list, we're going to be looking at the specific stats, and we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages. And if you ever want to check these specific stats of a combo, then I'll leave the link for the MK8D builder in the description. Okay, this intro took a lot longer than I was expecting, but with that out of the way, let's have a look at number 5. Okay, so the 5th best combo in the game is the Yoshi weight class on the Streetle. And for future reference, every single vehicle in this list is going to have the rollers and the paper glider equipped. Simply put, because the rollers are by far the best wheels in this game with the amount of mini turbo they give you. And the exact same thing goes for the paper glider. So for the most part, I'm going to be focusing on talking about the character and the kart combination. And of course, I'll discuss what makes them so good. So that leads us to the question of, Liam, what makes the Streetle good enough to be included in this list? And that's one simple reason: this vehicle is lightning fast underwater. So if we take a look at this combo's speed stats, we can see that the ground and air speed are somewhat respectable. The anti-gravity speed's not so good, but where it really shines is its underwater speed, being well ahead of the rest. So that makes this combo very commonly used on tracks like Cheep Cheep Beach, Dolphin Shoals, and Piranha Plant Cove. Basically tracks that just contain a lot of underwater driving. There is something that you need to be wary of though. If an underwater section also contains anti-gravity, then the anti-gravity takes priority. So that basically means vehicles in those sections will be using their anti-gravity speed instead of their underwater speed, which is very, very bad for the Streetle. So for tracks like Piranha Plant Slide or Twisted Mansion, you can't actually take advantage of their very big underwater sections on the Streetle because it's all in anti-gravity pretty much. But yeah, the main thing to watch out for on this vehicle is anti-gravity, because that's definitely its biggest weakness. Actually, something that I almost forgot to mention is that this combo has very, very good traction, which actually makes it pretty good on tracks like New York Minute or Neo Bowser City. In summary though, this vehicle is by far the best for driving underwater, and it's not even close. So if there's ever a really high chance of an underwater track being picked, then switching to the Streetle usually is not a bad idea. That's enough said about that anyway, let's get on to number 4. So what I think is the 4th best combo in the game is Luigi Ink Striker, which you can also use Mario since he's basically the same stat-wise. And there's good and bad news when it comes to this combo. So the bad news is that out of any of the meta combos around right now, this has the least amount of mini turbo, which, you know, that's not great considering mini turbo is the most important stat in the game. But the good news is that this combo has the highest speed and weight stat of any combo in this list, which for the most part makes up for the slight lack of mini turbo. And in a sense, for some people, that's why they play this combo, because on combos with higher mini turbo, you have to do a lot more snaking, fancy mini turbo strats and stuff. Whereas if you play Ink Striker, doing any of that is not necessary in the slightest. So it is a lot harder to get your mini turbos out than other combos, which definitely does suck. But I think the fact you don't have to try as hard on this combo definitely makes up for that fact. The Ink Striker was used much more back in Wave 4 when Waluigi for the first time just got put in the bin. But ever since Wave 5 dropped, people started to transition a little bit more into using Teddy Buggy. And ever since, the Ink Striker hasn't seen that much use other than maybe 1 or 2 people in your lounge matches. But if you're looking for a heavier build to use, then the Ink Striker is definitely your best option. So yeah, this combo is basically just speed. That's enough said about it really. Let's get on to number 3. Right, so the third best combo in the game is Yoshi on Mr. Scooty. And pretty much with this combo, it is the exact opposite of what Ink Striker is. It's lacking quite a bit in speed and weight, but it absolutely excels in mini turbo and acceleration. So then that begs the question of what actually makes this combo better than the Ink Striker? Well, first off, in terms of driving fast, mini turbo is actually a lot more important than speed. And that's why you see this combo, or more commonly the Biddy Buggy, in time trials. So because of this combo's ridiculously high mini turbo stat, and it gives this combo the highest skill ceiling out of any of the other meta combos around right now. Also, with how small Mr. Scooty's hitbox is and how easy it is to just move around on this combo, this is by far the best combo in the game for just avoiding items. Of course though, there are downsides to this combo, mainly being the speed and weight stat that I mentioned earlier. Pretty much, if you ever have to just drive straight and you can't take advantage of that mini turbo stat, or if you're in a close pack and you're getting pushed around a lot, then you're definitely going to feel those disadvantages. So pretty much, if you're looking for a featherweight kind of combo to play, then this is definitely your go-to. That is just about enough said about Mr. Scooty anyway. So let's get on to number 2 and number 1. Yes, I've grouped them together, and I'll explain why when I get there. So, by far the best combo in the game is Yoshi on the Teddy Buggy. Who saw that coming? So that combo's number 1, but then what's number 2 supposed to be? Well, it's the exact same combo, but with Mario or Luigi instead. Which I'll shamelessly admit, I am only including this combo in the list to get it up to a top 5. But anyways, enough about that. I need to tell you why Teddy Buggy is absolutely goated. It's pretty simple to explain, really. Unlike all the other combos we've talked about in this list, the Teddy Buggy pretty much doesn't have a single thing bad about it. Its speed stat, solid. It's mini turbo, excellent. And basically all of the other stats get the job done. I mean, except for invincibility, but we didn't really care about that stat anyway. Yeah, this combo is just so good, and I can't think of any downsides to actually playing it. That's genuinely all there is for me to say, though. I mean, this combo is just fantastic, and that's just about all there is to say, really. Just before I do end the video, there are some things that I would like to mention. So the first thing is that I know for a lot of the vehicles in this list, I did say to use specific characters, but quite frankly, if you use either the Yoshi, Mario, Luigi, or Villager Boy class, then it is a viable meta combo, essentially. Secondly, if you're an inward main looking for an inward bike to play, then play the Yoshi bike. It is by far the best one, mainly because of its hitbox, and the fact it has the exact same stats as the Teddy Buggy. That's just about all I have to say, I think. If I did forget anything, then do feel free to comment it. If not, I will most likely have it in a pinned comment. But yeah, if this video was helpful to you, then do consider subscribing. I make plenty of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content to help with improving, and that's just about all there is to talk about. In a bit, lads.